Welcome to week 9 of Rebuild Mark. I'm Mark Still. This week it's all about training. Last week it felt like it slipped just a little bit due to the weather and a few other things, but this week was excellent. I knocked out both weekday training sessions and felt really strong. And then this weekend had the biggest test I'll have before race day, an almost 8-hour, 110-mile ride, nearly solo, although I met a nice guy named Larry out there and we rode for a while. He even showed me a cool climb up near Rabbit Mountain that I'd never seen before, but felt great. All of those 110 miles, pretty comfortable on the bike, good power the whole time. That the idea of the training day was to start off really easy, to increase the intensity every few hours, finish strong. The Tailwind Nutrition was excellent. I used the endurance fuel as my primary fuel source during the day with just a few nibbles of some sourdough bread and a little banana bread spread out over quite a few hours. I couldn't be happier. Frankly, it's the first concrete evidence that I might actually be able to finish this event on such a small amount of training. I feel surprised and relieved, but that's progress. And frankly, at the end of that ride, there was just nothing suggesting I couldn't do another 90 miles or so. So I feel good about it. Lots can still go wrong. I still have a lot of work to do. 3 solid weeks of training to polish everything off. But it's the first time since we started this project that I really feel like I've made verifiable progress. That's great. So coming up, the training continues. This is kind of a rest week after that big effort. So nothing real hard this week, but Coach Kristen and I will start game planning the pace strategy and nutrition strategy and all those things I need to kind of have a solid handle on before race day. It's going to be nice to have somebody with Kristen's experience helping me do that. So we got to work on that. I got to get the bike kind of tuned up. It's messy, needs to be cleaned. I am definitely going to put a 38 tooth chain ring to replace the 40. During that big long ride, I did quite a few 8 to 12% gradient rough climbs, and I think having that little bit of extra gear will be welcome on race day and should reduce the fatigue, because there were some of those climbs where at my weight, I felt like I was having to muscle it a bit, and you definitely don't want to do that when you're going to be out there for 200 miles. And during last week, I installed some SRAM blips under the tops of the bars so I can shift from up here as well as down here. And at first, I just kind of loosely installed things and put the tape over it, thinking I could just have the tape right over the top, but it made it a little tough to feel the exact spot you need to push. So it's a little messy now, but I did rewrap the bars with fresh tape, position them exactly where I want it so I don't have to move my hands much at all. And then I did a little messy job with the razor blade of cutting away some of that bar tape. So hopefully it all stays together. It looks a little rough if you look under there, but it works really well. I didn't really use it as often as I thought I would during that long ride, but it could be that I'm just not used to having those there at all after 20 plus years of being a cyclist. But I think having options on rough climbs or situations where you just don't want to let go of the bar to reach for the shifter should be good. And I don't know, it was easy enough to do, and nobody knows if I hot glued them to the handlebars or not to keep them in the spot I want. So there you go. And from a bike fit standpoint, I'm pretty excited about everything. I said from the beginning, I've ridden Specialized bikes an awful lot over the years, so I kind of knew where things went. That has proven to still be true. So I feel good about everything. I think I need to work on some cleat placement on my left foot in particular, but I feel good about where things are. But just to be sure, because I still have a few weeks, I'm going to look into a bike fit just to confer with somebody else and make sure there's not some small tweaks we can make. I did notice in the process of installing those blips and rewrapping the bars that the right shifter was about 5 millimeters further down the bar than the left, so I corrected that. I don't think that'll make a big difference. It didn't seem to make a big difference yesterday. I didn't notice it was all that different. My right hand tends to go to sleep lately, but it does that at night when I'm asleep, so I guess it's natural that it would do it on the bike. But if we could tweak a few things and just confirm everything's in the right spot, that's probably worth the effort of a bike fit. I'm a big fan of bike fit, so if you are riding around wondering if you need help, I think that's a good investment in yourself and in an event. If you're not perfectly comfortable, if you don't feel very efficient, look into a bike fit. I think it's money well spent. And don't forget, this is a group project. I want to know how I can support you in your efforts to get fit and get back on a bike. Let me know what questions you might have about the gear I'm using, the efforts I've gone through to get ready for this event in such a short time. And if you have questions, use the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer those questions. If you don't want to ask a question publicly, send me an email at mark@browntimemedia.com. And if you're in Kansas in a few weeks, be sure to say hello.